Students of historical research and method at Lewis Clark State College. Let's talk for a minute about my ideas about how I think we're going to be using this Canvas site. All right. We talked about this a little bit, but I'll cover it again. The hybrid element, I'm not sure about. I've been trying to figure out exactly what a hybrid course means to me. In this particular case, I think we can get most of our business done on Tuesdays and maybe use Thursdays as research days and private consultation days. Once we get like past week 5 or 6 or 7 or something, we'll see where we go, right? But that's what I'm thinking about hybrid being available via Zoom. Maybe we have occasional online things to do, but this is not a Zoom class and there's not an elaborate discussion board or anything like that. I assume most of us have used Canvas in the past. If we need to use Zoom as a classroom, not to talk with me in my office, the link is up here. I don't envision us using it as a classroom unless we get hit by the snowpocalypse or something and it's just like, hey, this is what we need to do, although we'd all rather have a snow day, right? Um, the syllabus, I'm going to shoot a separate video on just to keep these shorter. You can take a look at that. Modules, that's really the week by week thing. I'll go into that in a second. That's really the thing you want to see. Actually, what you want to see is the student view, so you don't see all the stuff I got, right? Discussions, I'll go into it for a second. We're not going to use a big discussion board in this class. If you've had me for a 101 or a 102 online class, I don't envision that. What we might use the discussion board for is our peer reviews. I've had some good success playing with that kind of thing. So, grades, you can always get a hold of your grades. Google Drive, I should hide that. I don't even know why we have it on here. Let's go into the modules section. The course overview, about me, all that kind of stuff. Resources for students. This is basically if you've never used Canvas before. If you've never used Canvas, highly suggested. If you've used Canvas, you know what's up. Student resources. I assume you guys know, although you don't always know, that there's various software that's available when you're a student at a way cheaper price, perhaps even free. You should look into it. The Writing Center, it's not just for, bad writers. It's for everybody who wants to be a better writer, and they do some stuff online. So they're a really good spot, not only for peer reviews, but they're a good spot for I do not understand how to get started. They could also potentially be a good spot for one of y'all to find some employment at because they could probably use a couple more historians over there with this writing style. Student Counseling Center, about 20-ish, can be a really stressful time. College can be a really stressful time. Can start doing things, right? You've got access to the counseling center. I don't even know what the right word I want to use is. My sense of things is a lot of the stress that students experience. Not all of it, because sometimes there's just ludicrous things that happen in our lives. But there is some amount of stress that is generated by poor time management. The Student Counseling Center can help with that. Hey, look, man, I don't know what to do. I've got all these things. I'm up till the middle of the night. I stay up at night worrying about things. Go talk with them, work that stuff out. I'm going to come back to the history week by week thing in just a second. That's probably the more important part of what we'll use Canvas for. And then I'm going to drop down to this resource warehouse. I have not updated this for this version of History 200, but conceptually it's the same, and some of this won't get updated at all. Learning through discussion outlines. So when you see the assignment for the Gaddis books, for example, and it talks about a learning through discussion outline, this is what I want. It's not a regular kind of outline, okay? It's not a outline each paragraph as you go. It's a whole issue about words you don't know, main topics, questions you want to ask. We can talk a little bit more about this as we go, but this is where it's located, all right? The annotated bibliographies, which you'll be doing shortly. Here are some examples of a student annotated bibliography here. Here's an annotated bibliography of my own that I did with, I believe I left the comments on it from my advisor. And those are worth looking at, just so you understand what an annotated bibliography is. We'll get to those later. I don't expect you to know now, but when I say look at the examples, this is where the examples are, okay? And I'll try to put a few more up. Historiographic essays, all right? I got one up. I've got two others I'm pretty sure I have in the hopper to put up. Examples so that you know what you're supposed to be doing for this class. That's the final project. Book analyses. Same thing. Book analyses guidelines. These are not book reports. Notice the big bold letters when it finally comes up that says, this is not a book report. Review the guidelines. And you're going to do one of these analyses. You're actually going to do two of them on two books of your own choosing to really tear it apart and think about how it's put together. We'll talk about all this in class. I'm not expecting you to be able to do any of it now. I'm just showing you where things are at, right? Research in progress presentation guidelines. Work with them for now. I don't know that we'll do them on Zoom. We might. I kind of liked it where we did the Zoom presentations and then everybody watched the presentation and came to class to discuss it. So keep that in mind. But this gives you an idea of when we get ready to do presentations. This is going to be after spring break on your topics, what you're looking at. Zoom presentation recording instructions, right? I need to change some of those, right? So by the time you see this, there'll be less of them on there. But I've got permission to use a few of them just so that you can see what they look like. This transferable skills part, sometimes you guys don't quite connect what we're doing in class to things employers might want as easily as it seems like you should. Well, all right. Anyway, I'll fix that. It's a chart that helps to take, kind of assignments. There we go. It's a group project, but for an employer thinking about, I've got good communication skills, I can work with people professionally, teamwork, reliability, flexibility, all right? That's called I had some people in my group that I wasn't that crazy about, but I worked with them anyway. We're doing research, and I can do technical learning and critical thinking. You guys go through this. We're going to work a little bit on thinking about being able to expand our employment possibilities. Some of y'all have nice, clear ones. I love it. Other y'all are not sure. One of the things I want to do at some point this semester is work out a short video probably about what you can do with a history degree besides be a history teacher. Right? Nothing wrong with being a history teacher. Love history teachers. But there's a whole set of skills that I think sometimes people overlook and students struggle with a little bit. And then this is a handout. We'll talk about it later on. Okay, something I got from my advisor that I've hung on to over the years. So that's just where resources are. So when I add a handout or something, I'll put it in there. This stuff is up here, the week by week. This is the real schedule. I don't want to go through the syllabus and give you a detailed schedule and then have to cut and paste it into this and add links. The syllabus I think is going to be pretty bare bones as far as the schedule goes. The real schedule will be here, right? And you click on, whatever, week 1, and it tells us what we're supposed to be doing for that Tuesday. And here we go. We've already seen this. This was your mission for this week, right? And then week 2, I've got some PDFs here. You guys understand how these things work. What else do I want to talk about? Assignments. It is worth looking at the final assignment, however sparse it is, to get an idea about what everything's building to. If you've had me for any class before, and I know not everybody has, but if you've had me for any class before, you know I am a huge fan of scaffolding all the assignments into a final paper where we're taking everything we've read, everything we've worked with, and putting it all together. So sometimes it's worth your time to look at the final project, to think about how you want to put things together as we go. All right. That seems good enough on how we're going to use Canvas. Pay attention to the announcements. I'll try to make them shoot across your email so everybody knows what's up. And on that note, I guess I better get busy shooting a video about your syllabus. All right, welcome to the new term.